Hello and welcome to Garden Basics. I'm Marcy, owner of the Garden Spot Nursery, and I'm so glad you're joining us for the morning on making small water gardens. Now there is in-the-ground fountains that are big and very a lot of complications to it, but what I want to do is show you 5 small fountains that are easy to make and you'll be perfect for your deck or patio. One of them I'm going to show you right now takes 20 minutes to put together. So follow me because we're going to move right over here to this one I put together right here. And this is one of our bamboo fountains. They come like this. They have the pump, they have already have the tubing and the fountain piece. So it's all right there just to be plugged in. And I like this one because it's a little taller. The further the water drops, the more of a sound it's going to make. And you want the right kind of sound because you want it to be soothing and restful. And we need more soothing and restful and peaceful in our life right now. So this is a perfect class for these times. And so when I made this is I did about 3 inches of gravel at the bottom. Just plain old fun gravel here. And that made a level surface. And then I added a gallon water plant. And these are different than the plants you find in the nursery because they're growing in a little more of a clay soil. And this is called the moneywort. But this one blooms all summer long, which is really lovely. And it'll spread out like a little carpet over the edge and give you some trailing. And then I have another plant in here. And the other thing is having the gravel. The plants I'm showing you right now are like shallow plants. They only like to be 1 to 2 inches below the water. So they're great for the edges of a big pond or for a small water feature like this. And then I added I always go and I like to add a nice big rock to it. So down at the bottom I've got a rock that I could twist it so you could see it right now. It'll give you a little bit of a northwest feel. And I don't know if you're like me, I go out and collect rocks everywhere I go. So I always have a few extra sitting in the corner. And then I've added another water plant. This is also, you can find this in the perennial section, but this is especially growing for the water. And it's called Shasta Stylus. And you see this all over the front of the bellwether in their garden. So right now we've got it as a water plant and it will bloom fully right on through into the fall. And when you take your water gardens apart. Now these are water gardens I'm showing you today. You don't leave them out all winter. They're mainly just for when you're using your patio and you just put them away for the winter. Take the pump out, empty the water, put the bowl away. And the plants, you can either give them to somebody with a bigger pond or try to hold them over in a little pan of water in the garage over the winter. Sometimes with success, some not. But I would look to kind of consider them, unless you can give them to somebody with a bigger pond, more of an annual. And then I've got the water hyacinths floating in here. And this is the one that gets a little purple flower. It's going to start happening really soon. So you've got this blooming in your garden. And you've got a nice sound. A little bit of splashes going down here. So I'm going to move this back just a tush so it's not so splashy. One about these small fountains is you do have to refill them with water once in a while because a little bit might be splashing out or just the sun, dehydration. So you kind of have to check that. And another reason I like to have a rock is because sometimes the birds will come sit on the rock and drink out of my fountain. And to have a bird sitting and enjoying the water with you as you're enjoying your deck, it's really kind of a nice touch. So next I'm going to move to my favorite fountain of all. And we're going to move right over here. This one is a little bit more of an investment. It is a bigger bowl, but all of our pottery right now is 30% off, so it's a really good deal. But what I did is, there's only like a foot of water in the bottom of this one, because I wanted the sound to be hollow. Just a different sound on this one, like a well. The most soothing I find anywhere. What I did is I got a good sized fountain pump, because the bigger the pump, the higher it will pump the water up. So this fountain pump is big enough, it's right here, to pump about 6 feet. And I've only got it about 3.5 feet right now, so it's got a good steady flow. And I just put the clear tubing in it. And if you can see over here really close, you can see the tubing. I have it coming up from the bottom behind my stone. This is a big piece of slate, or you could use a piece of beech wood. You could use something to kind of cover the dimension of the pot. And then I have then I bring the clear plastic tubing down, and I disguise it and cover it with some interesting rocks. And then as you move the rocks around, it also changes the flow of the water. So you can have the fun of kind of coming up with different flows. This is one that's not quite as fast to do as the other one, but it has its own little flavor to it. See, now it's coming out in all kinds of different directions. So this is one you could be sitting here with your check chairs on both sides, maybe your fire pit, a glass of iced tea, or your favorite beverage, and just you could be in the mountains right now with its mountain stream kind of dribbling down. That's the kind of nice sound that it has. And I'm going to move back to the table because I want to do some table fountains and show you how to do those. So this is one that's it's actually out of our indoor plant area. It's a black metal container, and also it has a bamboo fountain, but a little tiny one. So you would take a little narrower pot. And this just has this gentle flow of water on it. And also I've got a water lettuce floating in here. It doesn't bloom, but it's just living. It's something living. Or you could even have the fun of maybe putting one of the lucky bamboo in the back here and securing it. He doesn't want to be secured today. We'll just set you right there, nice and cute. And now that my lilies are done, I use this as my vase. I use for my tall lilies to bring them in the house. I got lots of lilies in my garden. And so now I use it this time of year just as a floating vase for my water hyacinths. And look at the long root on that. And when the sun hits this water with the hyacinth root, it has a lovely purple haze to it. It's really lovely. It's very, very nice. Now you never have to worry about mosquitoes in your water gardens if the water's moving. But if you have a bowl like this that's not moving, you wouldn't have a problem because you change the water in this about once a week. But if you just have a bowl with plants, you'd maybe want to use a mosquito dunk on it. And I've got a couple of those right there. And that would just keep the mosquitoes from coming. And you don't have to worry about feeding your water plants. They've got enough food in them. They're going to be happy. And then I've gone to another type of little small water garden. And this one is one where you might have a bowl that you're just not using at the time. And this is just clear. But what I've done is I've got a nice fountain, just the pumps, that's it. And first I put the gravel in. Then I've got the fountain, but then I've had the fun of taking my rock collection. You could use shells, anything, and then put those so you get a nice flow of the water coming up in different directions and having fun with it. Just kind of bubbling up through the rocks. Plan on getting a little bit of wet when you're doing this. There we go. That's a nice flow right there. I like that. Now you go, what do I do with that cord? So this is what I do with the cord so you don't notice it. I go find out of my garden or a neighbor. Right now I'm just going to snip one out of our plants. And I just weave it around the cord like this. Down a ways. It's better if you have a little bushier one. But then that is going to eventually root. You'll have roots growing in the stem. And you won't even notice the cord going over the side. So, collecting rocks, a nice pump, the appropriate pump for the size of your container, and just a little creativity, and that's what we can help you with. We've got wonderful water bowls. This is actually a kind of a Rubbermaid one. Looks like terracotta. They're again 30% off. Now I'm going to move over to our water plants so you can see some of the choices we have over there. All right, look at the choices that we have here today. We've got a marshmallow. This is a little one, so for a very narrow pot, and it only needs an inch of water on top, and it has little yellow flowers on it and interesting foliage. Got that one. We've got the iris in small pots. Now this one is all done blooming for the year. But this is a beautiful tall water lily. They're so nice for the, maybe a 2 or 3 foot bowl. One about this size. Now here's some of our bowls right here that we have them in different colors. And we're going to make sure you see those today. And they're all 30% off. And then we've got these great metal stands. And they're at a really great price here at the nursery that you can set them in. And they're good, strong enough to take all the weight of the water. And that's kind of sometimes hard to find for the water in the pot. And then we've got bananas for in the water. We've got canna lilies for a bigger tub. And this is one of my favorite little fountains. This is one that just has this lovely stream over the top. It has lights in it, so at night you have the fun of having your water garden illuminated at night, because it's really fun. You can even see the lights on right now going on. And we have also, for a little deeper pond, we have water lilies, papyrus in a gallon pot. That is perfect. I use it for making my bouquets, adding to my bouquets, canna lilies, like I said. And this is our bog plant area. These are for if you just the fun. They are carnivorous plants. We have sericina here in a couple different varieties. We are getting Venus flytraps in this week. And so these are fun for bog gardens. This is a really wet spot in your garden, just wet all season long. And these are actually hardy. You don't have to take them in. You can if you've got a greenhouse, but mine are wintering over just fine. Thank you for joining me today, Marcy at the Garden Spot. I hope you're inspired to bring some water into your garden, and always open for comments. This is new venue for me, so comments welcome, and come in and visit us in the garden. We're one big garden show this week.